Today, I'm starting a project to recreate King's Island in Parkitect. I'm mainly just doing this for fun, but I do intend to share the project on the Steam Workshop for people to use in Parkitect. In this video, I mainly just work on the paths around International Street and try to get the foundations in order for the park. I'm using Google Earth to get measurements on the park so I can get this as accurate as possible, but it probably won't be perfect. If you see my screen go black for a second, that's because I tapped out to look at Google Earth on my other monitor. As you can see right here, I'm just trying to match the color and type of brick in-game to the color and type of brick in real life, because there's many different types of bricks in International Street. The main pathways are kind of gray, but there's red bricks where there's benches, and by the fountains. Right here, I'm working on the pathway to Planet Snoopy from International Street. Technically there's two pathways, but this one's the first one. All these branching out pathways are a little difficult because they curve so much, and curves aren't that easy in Parkitect. Next was the International Street fountain. Honestly, this was probably one of the easiest things to make because all I had to do was move the terrain down a little bit, and I added some water. This is the next path to Planet Snoopy from International Street, and it curves a lot more. The area around Planet Snoopy alone took me about half an hour, so some parts I just eyeballed. I'm just doing this for fun, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm still happy with how it turned out. Right now I'm working on the paths around the Eiffel Tower, which kind of serves as the center of the park. All the main paths branch off from this point, so it's essential to get this done first. I won't be working on the Eiffel Tower or any buildings in this video, but I got a large majority of the paths done. These paths alone took me an hour, so I'm definitely going to be working on more in the next video. At this point I was just trying to make the width of the Eiffel Tower paths look good. And then I get back to work on the Planet Snoopy paths. At King's Island, these bumper cars sort of intersect the path. It also serves as sort of a reference point to where the two paths should connect, vertically at least. Now I get to fill in all the paths in Planet Snoopy, but unfortunately I chose the wrong color, so I had to redo this all again. In the real Planet Snoopy, there's plants and grass scattered about the paths, with benches and other things, sort of randomly, so it was a little difficult to recreate that in Parkitect, especially when they curved or had weird shapes, and I couldn't really measure the distance. I kind of just eyeballed how most of the planters look, and I think it turned out okay. This is the path from International Street, which eventually leads to Coney Mall. On my first attempt, the path didn't really line up where I wanted it to go, so I deleted a lot of it and moved it up a little bit more. Now I'm starting the path from International Street to Action Zone. Once again, the path didn't really line up and I had to do a lot of work on it in order to get it perfect. Now I'm starting the pathway down Coney Mall. In real life, this path is gigantic. I know it looks a little ridiculous with how big it is, but trust me, it looks like that in real life too. According to my measurements, it's about 980 feet long, and it's about 100 feet wide. One unit in Parkitect is about 10 feet, give or take, so in total, it's about 98 tiles all the way down Coney Mall. This is the path that leads to the Fest House and eventually the Oktoberfest area. The Oktoberfest area is getting rethemed to Adventure Port, so I think I'll just call it Adventure Port from now on. As you can see, I had a really hard time getting the shape of this path right, but I eventually got it. The tricky part was getting it to line up with the path to Coney Mall exactly how I wanted. Now I'm starting to put some of the Action Zone paths in, and I was planning to use Delirium as sort of a reference point throughout the area, but unfortunately this game doesn't have a Husk Frisbee model, so I just used this ride, which sort of works I guess. These paths from the Eiffel Tower were the hardest because they just curved so much. They would just randomly change direction, and it was really hard to get the shape right. I eventually got it though. In total, these paths took me an hour, and these aren't even all the paths. In the next video, I'll finish the paths and hopefully get some rides in. If you have any suggestions for my recreation, let me know in the comments down below. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.